It's wonderful to be here. A very big aloha from Maui, talking to my friend Stephen Melillo, all the way on the other side of the world. How are you doing today, my friend?
Okay, you can see me with my multiple headphones set up. One is for one thing, the other thing is for the Zoom, and never the twain shall meet.
There's got to be a way to
Hmm.
have a switch that does it all with one headphone, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah,
We were, I've been very blessed to know you. We've worked on about four projects together, I believe, about four.
I don't know. In the hands of
Four.
time, love conquers all, circle of love, and in the test of time, the one that we're making now.
Yeah,
So if that's all there is, four.
yeah.
Yep.
And in the test of time. There was quite a few tests that came up. One is about a year and a half ago. I had a stroke and I can speak. Thank God I can speak, but I can no longer read. So it became quite a challenge because I would read my poems before and record them that way.
Hmm.
The last album we did together, I just improvised. I improvised what was going to be said and I made it up as I went, which was quite an interesting project in itself. But now we have another thing we've had to develop too, which is making actual songs versus doing spoken word with music behind it. And it was quite a big leap for you as well because you sing on these songs and you're on all the pieces of music on these songs. So boy, I mean that was a big leap this last year.
Well, so previously, dear listeners out there, what was going on was I had challenged Cindy that because even though she had this stroke and even though she couldn't read and even though that's a vital necessity of being a poet, I was challenging her to listen to music that I was creating at the moment and then respond to it poetically and then take those words and then just speak them, and have the computer translate them into words, and then I would look at them and I would read them myself over the recordings. So this year, Cindy challenged me and said, "Well, you should really sing these. You have a beautiful voice, all this stuff like that." Well, anybody who listens to me sings knows that I don't have a beautiful voice. So we can't. We have to go. We go beyond that, and I don't consider myself a singer at all. But here was the event that totally flipped my mind, and I realized that Cindy had a point about the authenticity of the singing because even though I'm not really a skilled singer, I do have a connection with the words, which is not like a professional singer might have. I understand
Hmm.
them in a way where I'm going to inflect them a little bit differently and I'm going to accent them a little bit differently and I'm going to draw your attention to them a little bit differently. But still, I was always like on the technical end of things and I was saying, I really don't have the chops to do this until by accident I just happened to see a movie where they came to the end credits and they're playing the song We Have All the Time in the World. Now, you might recognize that song as one of the songs that was written for a James Bond movie. We
Hmm.
have all the time in the world, and it's from On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Hmm.
And while I'm listening to the song, and I'm going, wait a minute. First of all, why did they put a James Bond song on the end of this movie, which isn't a James Bond movie? That's number one. Number two is why is it a completely different recording? And there's a guy singing it instead of the way that it's done in the original movie. And so I hang around and I just keep listening. I'm going, wow, this is really good. And who is it? It's David Arnold. Well, who's David Arnold? He's the composer of the James Bond scores for the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. So I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh my God, I'm actually hearing this song completely different
Hmm.
now because I'm
Hmm.
hearing a composer's take. Does he have the
Yes.
technical chops of a singer? No. But he's singing it and he's making me think we have all the time in the world. And every word suddenly is like connecting with me in a way that the songs wouldn't. So then I had a revelation.
Absolutely.
The
And it's a
revelation,
resonance.
yeah, and it was like, you know what? He's showing me. I'm a composer,
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
can sing this song, and I could do it, and it's not going to have the chops of a professional singer, but it is going to have this different layer of heart and inside nuance that can only be achieved by someone who's, in this case, doing it all, right? Because I'm writing the music, I'm orchestrating the music, I'm recording the music, and then I'm singing on top of the music. And so it was a combination of that and you constantly encouraging me to do it that finally I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this. And that's the result.
And on the album there is one piece sung by your son as well. We should mention that. He does a piece that also resonates with him. And that was lovely. And then there was also a piece towards the end. I think it was actually the last one we did together. That was not only did you sing it, but you did put in the middle of that a small. I don't know, maybe about 10 bars, maybe less,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of spoken where you actually spoke the words, which I encouraged you because that was. I listened to that. I said yes because you can sing, but you can also put some spoken words and speak the words in there, and it works beautifully. So this was
Right.
quite a big evolution in this project, and I'm still trying to cut back what I mean. My tendency, because I write every day, and I have thousands and thousands of things I've written, but my tendency is to write poems, which is there are more words in poems than there are in songs. People may not be aware of that, but poems are more wordy than songs are. So when you do lyrics, I'm still trying to edit down in my own mind, cut back, and concentrate on the words that are there, that have to be very powerful because in those 3 or 4 words in each line has to be what I would do maybe in 3 or 4 lines, right? So there's a lot of process going on in this thing. And it's getting close. The first single is going to be coming out, depending on when people listen to this any time now. Um, and that in itself is part of the process, right? Because never before would we release that many singles off an album, but we've decided on this one to do more singles for a good reason, which is that fact that more people are listening to singles, right? And the singles are giving you a chance to hear the song in its entirety rather than giving you 9 or 10 songs that you don't listen to the whole song. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was part of this evolution too. Now, this one song, the first one we're going to have, it's already been submitted. This is also an interesting fact for people who want to know about this stuff. Is it used to be rather quick. You'd submit a single, and you might get it out within a few days. I in the past would see something come out, I'd submit it, or you'd submit it, and it'd come out in a week. So this time, we were told by CD Baby it could be up to 3 weeks to release it, which was pretty long for a single, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but depending on when people hear this, it could be out at any time. But we're going to give people, if they listen to this right away, a preview of that song. And the whole thing will be coming out sometime soon, depending on when you listen. So, do you
Mm-hmm.
want to play a little of that song and then we can discuss the song?
Yeah, sure. We're going to do a little experiment here, everybody. We're going to do a share screen. I'm going to share my desktop. And, ooh, and this is right from the sequencer of the recording.
You don't have to see me to know that I'm around. I'm the wind that whispers when the world has settled down. In the silence of the morning, in the shadows of the night, hear a voice eternal calling soft inside the light. Whispers in the wind, feel my love, it draws you in. Every heartbeat, every sigh, is forever passing by. When the quiet calls you near, know my soul is always here. Whispers in the wind.
There you go.
That, you know what? I still love that song, listening to it. It's bringing back for people who don't write music, each piece that's done has its own journey, an inner journey that comes out in the words, right? You know this, right?
Well, here's the deal, right? So why are you writing these ideas in the first place? It's coming from some personal, emotional arena, right? It's either coming from the observation of your own personal suffering, your own personal joy, something that you want to share, something that you feel needs to be shared. You take all of these different kinds of emotions and reasons, and that's what makes it personal,
Mm.
and not just, hey, you know what? There's a really cool need for this kind of piece in this market, and let's just put this together. And there are people that
Oh, there are
function
plenty
that
of
way,
oh, there are plenty, yeah. And
right?
we've never ever thought about, well, this could be a hit. We
Right.
never. I have
Well,
to
but
laugh
see,
because we.
here's the tragic flaw, right? So if we're not thinking of a product, and we're not thinking of an end product, we're just thinking of an expression. So in that sense, it's sort of pure. I mean, you can make the argument that this is neo-romantic music for that reason, that we're doing the same
Mhm.
thing that the romantic composers did. We're not really
Mm.
caring about the marketplace. We're just doing this thing. That's the good
Yeah.
and the pure and the noble side of it. The other side of it is, what genre is it? What category do we put it
Oh,
in? You
no,
know, and it's like this
oh, you
game.
want to go down that? You want
No,
to go down that rabbit?
I just want to let the listeners know that that is the thing. And I
Hard.
have a a
Yeah.
group of close friends like all of us do, who will tell you the truth about things, and I'll say, okay, what is this? What style is it? Where does it belong? Whatever. And I have friends tell me, well, it's sort of genreless, and I'm like,
Yes.
that's cool, thank you, right? But both of us know that, let's say, because I am a film composer, right? So let's just say that that song was in a film,
Mm,
and it had the right imagery, and it had
right.
the right emotional setup. Well, no one would care about what genre it is, because
Thank you.
it's
Yes.
because it's speaking to you, right?
Right. Is that on top of that, every song is a journey. And on
Hmm.
this one, I have, okay, just a little background on wind. I live in a place that is always windy, and it is on a thing that goes from the top of the hills here from Haleakala, right on down through to the ocean. There's this channel that goes right by where I live, within a few blocks of this wind that will go, and many changes of this wind that will go through here. So I always do hear the wind and walk in the wind, and in Hawaii, there's many names. They have names for each kind of wind, and there's so many kinds of wind. But
Cool.
but the wind does whisper, and when I wrote these words, I was thinking first of the wind, and then what happened, probably about 2 or 3 months after I did the words of Whispers in the Wind, my longtime companion um, died, and then of course that spirit also whispers in the wind as well. So it carried another deeper meaning to me now when I listen than what I did when I originally worked with you and wrote some of the words. So, like you were saying, each song has a journey, and this brings right that back home, right, on a deeper level I never would have guessed on. So, if anyone's could relate to that connection, there's that message as well there.
That's absolutely true. And then, so you remember the other song, "Can You Hear Me?"
Yes.
Right? You're asking a question to the other side. Literally, you're saying, "Can you hear me when I'm thinking of
Yeah.
you and everything?" Well, in that month, that that song was written when you had lost your partner in that same month. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
13 of my family and friends passed away
Yeah.
in that same month. 13 people in that
Hmm.
one month. So when those people heard that song, it didn't matter to them what genre it was either, because
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's just like, no, this is speaking to me. And that's really where I'm coming from. If a symphony is written to speak to people and a song is written to speak to people, the most important thing is speaking to people. It has nothing to do with the medium that you're choosing at that time. That's something different.
But there is this journey too for those that, will do the singles, but for when the album does come out, which would probably be around June, maybe I think May actually, we'll probably do May, the release of the full album. There is a journey that happened obviously throughout this album as
Hmm.
well, and it does tell a story. And that the beautiful thing is that yes, you can relate, and there's about four songs that have to do on the theme of this album in a way is how time works in that journey and brings us lessons and messages as well. This is an interesting journey about time that I really never would have approached in the way it did. It also evolved each one, not necessarily thinking one theme is going to relate to the other, but somehow they were
Hmm.
all aspects, right? Can you explain that a little better?
Well, I think that the centerpiece, right? So you have 7 tracks, and the middle piece is In the Test of Time, which is also the name of the album. That's really saying a lot. Time, we got that important concept, but it's in the test of time. So even in the title, what we're suggesting is that this whole arc of life, birth to death, and then potentially life again, right? All of this arc is a kind of a test. We
Hmm.
are we are like that analogy of the metal that's put into the furnace, and we're
Mm.
burned and tested. And so I think those feelings are what's coming out in this music. So there is this, oh man, I got to suffer through this, and then there's hope. And so there's all these different kind of things, emotions that make it, to me, real music. Now,
Yeah.
in that, if you, as soon as you engage that other world of where does this belong, it's tricky. You go up to CD Baby. What is this? They ask you.
I
What?
know.
Give me a category. Well, it's sort of, I don't know. It's sort of like this. There's a spiritual side to it. Well, it's sort of this. It's sort of beautiful and just relaxing. I guess it's sort of new agey in that sense.
Yes,
So,
but the big hole
mhm,
is
mhm,
is pop. It's like basically if you don't know where you put it, you put it, and of course it's not pop, but it we landed up that as a third choice,
mhm,
and because it's like, but if you put something in pop, it's like here's the double-edged sword of pop. If you put something in pop, you potentially have a wider audience of people that listen to pop music, right? Probably millions of people, listen to pop music. But the problem is, okay, when you have millions of people listening, the chances of one song getting heard is hard. And if you submit it to the Grammys in pop, you're up against, like the biggest names in the world. So
mhm.
pop is a dangerous category. So we landed up going in two categories. Um, and I don't know if it even relates to people, but New Age came in kind of second choice. What category did we put it in as first choice?
I think it was just spoken word with.
No, 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 we didn't do spoken word at all.
Oh, I don't know then.
No, there was no spoken word. It was song. It was okay, well then we'll try it, but it
You
wasn't
see it.
spoken word.
You see, everyone. There's a lesson here, and as you listen to the both of us talk back and forth, I hope you're getting the message that I don't care. I mean,
No.
I really don't. And she's constantly chastising me for, well, you got to think this way, but I don't. I just don't care. I'm sorry, because for me, I could put it into like I said, I could put it into a classical category and say and make the argument there's nothing different about the sentiment and the purpose and the mission of this music than, let's say, an opera, an excerpt from an opera.
Yes, yes,
What's
that's
the
true. Yeah, no,
for,
and I would love
yeah.
to see. I would love to see this made into an opera. But that's something I can't quite get bridge yet.
Mhm.
But the bridge for here is that this hopefully will speak to people, and I think that when you have something that has so much depth to it, as your music does, um, that I think that I mean, I hope and pray that these pieces have a longer shelf life. There are people that put out pop releases that can become very popular and get played a lot, but they don't necessarily live a long life.
Hmm.
You know that, and I know that. It's like, well, this song was really big then, but gosh, I never, you don't hear it again. And so this one is just not going for that, but it's going for people that want to listen to something and be taken on an inner journey and an outer journey that relates to that. So I love music, and I know you do too, but music, and we've had this discussion often about music.
Hmm.
I mean, music carries something that is beyond the words. Music carries something that is so close to that connection that lives forever. And for those who are not aware of it, once you get something played on a radio, because I worked in radio most of my life, that once that's broadcast out there, once it's broadcast out there, there's no way they can ever guess where it keeps going to, but it keeps going out into the universe. When you broadcast something out there, it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So you don't know where it's reaching, right? And I believe that about music as well. You put it out there and you don't know where it's going to reach. You don't know who it's going to touch. You don't know if it's going to bring tears. But I have to say, Mr. Stephen Melillo, that your songs often bring tears, not only to my eyes, but you've heard that from other people as well, right?
Well, what's really funny is, and I'm gonna lighten this up a little bit here, is so many people have said to me, as if this is a great compliment, I want that song played at my funeral. I want I want that
Yeah,
piece played at my
yeah,
funeral. And you've done that. And it's really funny
yes.
because you say, I want this piece played at my funeral. And then I'll write another song and you'll go, I want this one played at my funeral. And then I'll write another song and you'll go, I want that one played at my funeral. And it's like, it's keep going. And I'm like, well, gee, if I keep writing songs, you'll never have a funeral. So,
Okay. I don't think it's going to work like that. Here's what, if I really going to be honest, what I believe, I think is we can hear those songs from the other side. I think not only do they go on through the universe, literally, they do echo throughout the universe, but I think that we've heard music that comes to us from the other side. I know I have. And I think that you can't just say, well, I heard something that was heavenly. Well, if it's heavenly, doesn't heaven hear it as well? I mean, don't you believe that's possible that the music can be heard heavenly?
I absolutely believe that. I believe that we're a subsystem of a greater system. If
Hmm.
if the human race is system A, B, C, and the universe system is system A through Z, and then through all the numbers, zero through infinity, well, ABC is a subset of that system, and therefore, yes, they interact with it and they hear it.
Yeah. So isn't that's a whole wonderful, beautiful bridge. I could write a song about that. I could write a poem. I could write a poem about that as well. I think that is really very possible. I think we're probably almost out of time, aren't we? I'm looking at
No,
my
but
notes.
we're doing good, and this should, we should pretty much come to a wrap. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, I
we're
think
doing
so.
good. Yep.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
this was one of those. I just called you and said, "Do you want to do this today?" And it's like, well, you cleared the deck and made it happen. So I thank you. You've got tons of projects in the works that you're supposed to be doing, that kind of had to get on hold to get this album done, because I know you've got a lot of other. Um, for those just real quickly here that don't know, Stephen has worked with amazingly talented young artists in school and beyond, and he's done many, many pieces. and some are being recorded, and then there's other pieces that you've had that you want to record as well. So you've got a lot on your plate. Well, it's been a treat talking to you about this. And we'll have it out. It'll be on all the platforms once it comes out, right? It'll be
Yeah.
on all the iTunes and everything else. It'll be available everywhere once it comes out.
Hmm.
And I will probably post it, and you will on our. I'm still old school, and I still do my YouTube and other things, but I'm also posting daily on my site, and you post on yours, and so we'll let people know, but we thought we'd just have a little conversations here about this, and to let people know it's coming, and a little bit of the story behind of the creation of it. And I really, really thank you for taking the time in your busy schedule to do that. And I thank you for really making that leap to singing it and to working on the singles and making them workable. And I think I think it was really it's a very beautiful, touching project. So I thank you for all of that.
Well, thank you, and for the listeners, it's a bearing of the soul, right?
Yes,
I'm
it
putting,
is.
for me personally, I'm just putting myself out there in all of my imperfection, and only you can be the judge of, wow, that speaks to me, or hey, Steve, get a real singer. Only you can be that person. But that's good though, because I think
Yeah,
that the listener is as much a part of the music as you know, the
I
teller.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's very true, and that's the beautiful circle, right? The
Mm-hmm.
circle of love. Yeah.
Nice.
Always a pleasure talking to you, my dear friend, and thank you for all the work that you did on this. It was a ton of work, and you did a great job. So congratulations and great talking to you.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Aloha.
See you later.
Okay.